Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
Thanks for joining us for Tesla Time News.
Bite-sized.
Sponsored by our friends at the solar-powered hotels in Schaumburg, Illinois, the Fairfield Inn & Suites by Marriott, and the Town Place Suites Hotel right next door. They're both connected, they're both solar-powered, and they're the first and only hotels in Chicago that get the majority of their power from solar. So, Jesse, another Tesla Vandal turns himself in. Model 3 owner Godwin Leong in Edmonton, Canada, had his car keyed. His Sentry Mode video was seen by over 50,000 people, and now police report that 20-year-old Austin Grabus has come forward and turned himself in after seeing the video online.
He has been charged with 1 count of mischief over the act of vandalism. Grabus said he was frustrated after a car cut him off, and he thought that the Model 3 might have been the same car. He said, "I wasn't thinking, I made a stupid mistake." So after he saw this video of himself keying this car online, he said that he became overcome with disappointment and embarrassment.
And he added that he doesn't have anything against Tesla, and he regretted doing it right away. Now, my thought here is, I think his regret basically came from the fact that he got caught and not from the fact that he did this horrible deed, because if he did, he could have driven back to the parking lot and apologized.
Right. You don't need to really turn yourself in if you write a note with your insurance on there like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I got so upset." Also, if you think this car cut you off and then you keep driving for 10, 20, 30 minutes, like how long was this car parked in his parking lot?
Wait, I was cut off by a white car. There's a white car.
There it is. Like, really? Yeah. And you're going to take that risk?
Anyway, if someone's keeping count out there, I would love to know. So I think we've had 3 people turn themselves in.
Yep.
I would love to keep score of how many people we're catching from Tesla SentryCam.
Yeah, I mean, it's just scary that there are so many people keying cars. Again, this is a world that I've never thought was a big deal, that people's cars were getting keyed. It's hard to know if it's just Teslas because people have something against them, or they're just really nice looking cars and people just think, "Oh, I'll key the car." I don't know what the logic is.
I don't either. So you know how we were complaining about the Porsche Taycan's prices being so expensive?
Yes. I mean, who has an extra $160,000 lying around?
Well, now Porsche has announced a more affordable base version.
Oh, sweet. So we're talking I don't know, 50,000?
A little higher.
60,000.
A little higher.
$70,000.
$103,800. That's for the smaller battery pack, and then $110,000 for the Performance Battery Plus pack. So let's see what you get.
Okay.
For the base price, you get a 79.2 kilowatt hour pack that gives you 363 kilometers or 225 miles of range. For the Performance Battery Plus, you get the same size battery as you got in the Turbo, which is a 93.4 kilowatt hour pack, but they've limited it to 420 kilowatts of power versus 560 kilowatts for the Turbo version.
And that's the kilowatts that are going to the motor.
Right.
Okay.
So you get a range, though, which is higher. You get a 413 kilometer or 257 mile range, and you still get 270 kilowatts of charging capacity.
The 2 base versions both get a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4 seconds, a top speed of 250 kilometers an hour. They are going to arrive in Europe in January of 2020 and the US in late spring 2020.
My question is, how did they get the cost down with the same battery?
Right. I mean, it's a $50,000 difference roughly from the base Turbo price to the Performance Plus battery,
Right.
which is the mid-tier, lower size battery. I'm calling it Performance Plus. It's hard to wrap your head around, but I think they either went for smaller motors or they went for some kind of different battery chemistry.
Do you think it's possible they software limited it like Tesla does sometimes?
I mean, they could. It doesn't behoove them really because you're just losing profit margin, but if it gets you to sell more cars...
Yeah, but maybe later you talk someone into software unlocking it.
I suppose you could. I mean, I suppose it would improve your 0 to 60 time and the performance. Yeah, it's possible. Again, it's nice that the Taycan now is at a lower price point, but it is still, to me, at a very similar price point. I imagine someone who's ready to ante up $110,000 plus all of the the premium features that they want to add, like passenger screen
Right.
and the leather seats and the all the things you'd really need if you wanted to have it be a Porsche. I think that you're still going to be looking at $130,000. To
Right.
me, there's not much of a difference between that and someone who's going to buy a $160,000, $180,000, $200,000 car. I think it's the same, approximate person. It's just whether they're like on a budget or something. Most people aren't going to be like, oh, good, it's only $104,000.
Right.
I think now I'm interested.
Now, according to the Tesla website, the range of the base Model 3 Standard Range Plus has increased to 250 miles, which is up 10 miles from the 240 miles they had spec'd before, and the price has gone up $500 to $39,490.
The Model 3 Performance has also seen a price increase of $1,000. Now, again, I think this is because of demand. You have people who really want the car.
Exactly.
And supply and demand, people. This is just basic economics. You can increase the price of the car if so many people want it.
Right, and I mean, Tesla will be charging $1,000 more now for the full self-driving software package at the end of October.
So, and Elon actually told us why this is. He says that now that Tesla version 10 with Smart Summon is out, full self-driving price will increase by $1,000 on November 1st. This is because there is now more functionality in the full self-driving package, which means that it is worth more money now, which means that they can increase the price.
I know that you're using Smart Summon pretty much every possible time you can.
When it's safe. Again, I'm being very vigilant as to where I'm doing it, what kind of parking lot, how busy it is. I'm just trying to be as safe as possible while still blowing people's minds.
Thanks for joining us on Tesla Time News Bite Size, which comes out every Tuesday.
You can watch the full version of Tesla Time News right over here.
Now you know.